Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good. I
Matt
love your,
Thomas from Parmalee. Nice
love
to
your
catch up with you.
guitars.
Look at this. We're matching.
I love it.
I just need to get a couple of those plaques for the wall back
Yeah, come
here, and
on.
then we'll be good. How are you today?
I'm doing good.
Whereabouts are you? Because you guys are on tour. You're in between spots right now. Where are you calling in
I'm
from?
actually in Nashville. We're leaving at like 4 in the morning to go to Montana tomorrow. So,
So that's very early.
oh, you telling me? Oof,
So
gotta get
what's
on
the
my
game
man.
plan? Yeah. So are you a coffee guy? Are you a tea guy? How do you get going at
Oh,
4 in the morning?
love coffee. I gotta have it.
Are you
Actually,
black? Cream sugar?
I gotta have like I call it Terminator sugar, but it's the sugar in the raw turbinado sugar. What is they call it? That, a little bit of honey, and then some creamer.
Oh,
But
that's I wouldn't have thought it to put honey in there, so maybe I'll have to try that out.
oh, it's great. Honey's fantastic.
So how is you're on the just the way tour right now, of course, heading to Montana tomorrow. How has the tour been going? How does it feel to be back up on stage with the guys performing?
It's fun. It's been the energy has been amazing. I can't lie. The fans are just showing up, and everybody's singing at the top of their lungs, and it's been great just to be back out and reconnect with everybody who we've missed for a year and a half almost.
Absolutely. Now, when was your first show? Because of course this tour just started in the beginning of July, but I'm sure you played shows before then.
Yeah, we did. We were doing sporadic shows. Even last year, we were down in Florida playing shows, and we played as much as we could. But I think it was like maybe April when things really started, you know, coming in. The
Okay.
shows started coming in, and every weekend started getting packed up. The schedule started getting full, interviews, all that kind of stuff. So probably just a few months in now.
Now, do you remember how you felt that first show, stepping back out on stage? How that felt after all that time being locked down?
Yeah, the first one we did was the Carolina Country Music Fest near Myrtle
Okay.
Beach, South Carolina, and it was almost 40,000 people out there. So I was a
And
little
it's
nervous.
so close to your hometown, right?
Yeah, it was a hometown show for us, and I mean, to look out and see that amount of people, it was like, whoa.
They're all here for us. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Now, actually, I do have to ask because for those who might not know, Parmalee, like you guys are so tight knit. One as a band, but you're basically all related. You've got your brother, your cousin, your childhood friend. With this pandemic, we've seen people being stuck at home with their, wives and spouses, husbands, their families, and for some, it's gone really well. For
Hmm.
some people, they're not so lucky. When you're working with your family and with these guys and you're collaborating in the studio, you're on the tour bus for hours and hours and hours. How does that dynamic work for you guys?
I think we've done it long enough to where we know what buttons not to push on each other
Hmm.
and what we're all best suited at. And at this point, it's everybody does their own thing, and we come together when we know we need to get the job done. But don't get me wrong, we still have our arguments. I mean, it's terrible. Somebody's just stepping into it, and it's usually over nothing, something minuscule, but it'll end up blowing up. But it's family and friends, and so we've been together a long time, and you just have to learn to go the other way when you know it's time to go the other way.
For
But
sure. And it is funny with siblings, I have an older brother. It is just those tiny small things. It's never a big issue. It's just like that, oh, you took the last of the honey. Come on, what are
yeah,
you
yeah,
doing, man? Yeah.
yeah.
Now, I did see actually Ed Sheeran was chatting the other day because he just put out a new single, new record. I'm not quite sure, but he was saying that when he gets invited to a friend's wedding, they always ask him to sing and perform. And if he's had enough to drink, if he's got enough in him, he'll do it. With you guys, if you're all together at home for Christmas, birthdays, whatever it might be, do you get put in that same
Oh,
situation?
always, yeah. And I mean, we used to beg people to come to listen to us play on the couch and stuff. So, and they're the same people that we're going back home to see now, so they expect us to do it. As a matter of
Hmm.
fact, my mom had her birthday party, and we went back home, and so we made sure we brought. It's kind of a requirement that we bring the guitars and the and jam a little bit is what they call it. But yeah, we always love doing that.
Does your mom have a favorite song of yours? I was going to say son, but we'll go with song.
um, She's got several. She's got all the old demos and stuff, so she'll randomly hit me up about an old song we recorded. It's like, I don't know why you guys should put this out. This is a hit. Blah blah blah. I'm like, I don't know about that song, Mom. She's heard them all, so I think she's a fan of all of them. To be honest with you, I don't know if she has one favorite one. I have to ask her next time I see her.
Oh, that's awesome. So glad to hear that. Your mom's the number one fan.
Oh yeah.
And I was going through your Instagram a couple weeks ago, and I did see, we're going to chat about your new album because I'm excited about that. But first, a couple weeks ago, you were on stage, Blanco Brown, your entire crew, and you were holding up plaques to celebrate Just the Way going platinum. Congratulations. That's got to feel pretty good.
That was great. That was they do Whiskey Jam here in Nashville every Monday, which is a big concert where all the up and comers, when you come to town, you play Whiskey Jam, and it's just everybody wants to play it. We played it back in the day several times, and so this was their first show back, and the label surprised us with all the plaques. So that was really like a Monday night too. It was just an amazing night to have all that happen. I mean, that's the stuff you come to town for. You hope and aspire and dream to be able to play Whiskey Jam and to get a single and then have a platinum out, all that stuff. Kind of, it's a little overwhelming, but it's so cool.
And of course, it went #1 on the charts as well. It's still going strong here at Canadian Country Radio. I'm sure in a year where you couldn't tour, it was really neat to be able to sit back and watch that song just skyrocket. It was
a blessing because it kind of kept us going through the pandemic. Otherwise, you're not playing shows, you don't have anything going, But this song was just, you're seeing this thing happen. You're seeing this thing happen. It was just a really cool experience to have all that positivity when everything else was negative,
And when you first played that song live, is it correct? Did I get this right? It was actually at a halftime show at Sunday Night Football?
Yeah, it was the Texans game. We did the halftime show. And this was awesome. We were gearing up. Everything was just going, and then the pandemic hit and shut us all down. But that was cool to have that, have all the cheerleaders dancing, and just what a way to debut a song,
Absolutely, it looked like a ton of fun. Are you a football guy? Is that your sport?
I was a baseball guy growing up. I played a little football, but baseball guy growing up, and then once I got out of high school, it was just all music after that. So.
Okay.
Hang my cleats up and all around a little bit now, but
if you had to pick a favorite team, then who would you go for? Or are you not? Are you just a casual?
Are you saying are you pro team or college team or?
I mean, either or. For you guys in the States, it's so different with NCAA.
Yeah, I mean we're from North Carolina, so college it's always NC State, Duke, UNC, but we went to East Carolina, so I will say I'm a Pirate. But
okay, is Clemson in South Carolina then?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. Now, in terms of sports, I know you had to hang up the cleats, but just if you'll just imagine with me, of course, the Olympics are underway. If you were to participate in any Olympic sport, what would it be?
I don't know. It just came across my mind. I'm throwing the javelin. I'm looking at my yard. I got like an acre and a half in front of me right now, but I'm like, I could whip this thing way out there.
You have the baseball arm from back in the day.
Yeah, I could do it. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I was thinking about it too. It would have to be an individual sport. I don't want to be on a team. I don't want to be that person dragging everybody down,
I never thought about it that way. Yeah, you're solely responsible for your own performance, right?
Exactly. Now, Just the Way, it's out. We've covered that, but your new album, it's coming out July 30th. What can you tell us about this so far?
Well, it's been interesting. We never really intended on putting an album out. We just were writing a bunch of songs because obviously we were in quarantine and a little bit before that, but we knew we had Just the Way, and it was like, hey, what's the next song behind Just the Way? Just the Way is doing great, but we got to have something great behind it. And so we started writing all these songs, and we were going to put out an EP. That was the intention. So we were like, what are the 5 songs? And we kept stacking the songs up and like, well, we got to put this up there. You got to put this. And it just the songs kept stacking up until the label was like, why don't you guys just put an album out? And we're like, hell yeah, let's put an album out. That's great. So it's been a couple years since we did an album, but these songs are just, we all love these songs, and the vibe was kind of following just the way, and we were just, it's just great to have an album out for our fans, really.
Absolutely. And I did see, I got some notes ahead of this album release, and you had said with For You, with this album, it's not just an album, it's a conversation. Would you be able to elaborate on that a little bit?
Well, a lot of the songs are speaking directly to you, to the person, the listener. I think all the songs actually on the album are, and it started with the song For You, which we wrote kind of as a double meaning for our fans and for whoever you're talking to as well. And we just kind of kept that theme going throughout the whole album. So a lot of the song titles had the word "you" in it, and everything's just very conversational and just speaking right to the person.
And I did see on the album, your bandmates have a couple of writing credits, but you have a writing credit on every single song on this record. How important was it for you to have your hand in each of these songs?
Well, I do a lot of writing, and we kind of figured out, we were very intentional about the writing process and what we were doing for this thing. So we were just trying to write the best song possible. And, me being the singer, it's easy for me to get in these writing rooms with these great writers. I can jump in and say, hey, let's do something kind of like Just the Way, and they want me to sing it and stuff. But it's just, that was our job last year. We couldn't tour. Barry just had a baby. Scott got married. Josh was taking up camping with his wife. I mean, you got to realize we haven't had this much time off in forever since we started this band. So everybody kind of took the opportunity to kind of spread out, and I just kind of took it and went into writing mode and just wrote as much as possible.
Now, when you were talking about this album, you said you started with For You. I'm curious because we had a Canadian band, a rock band here, the Arkells. They were on TikTok the other day, and they said, any artist will tell you that the hardest thing to do is naming an album, but you kind of started the other way.
It was funny because what this whole thing started, we rekindled our relationship with our old producer who came out on the road. We recorded a version of the song Be Alright, and we kind of re-clicked together and was like, okay, he wanted to get back in producing us and managing as well. So he came on the road. We wrote For You. He kind of saw some things that he thought needed to be changed, and so we brought him on as management. We flipped this whole script on the band, and he's the one that suggested we get Blanco on Just the Way. He produced that, and then we really went into mode after that. So it's been and since we wrote the song For You together, and it was all the guys on it, it was 100% Parmalee song. We were just like, let's just name it For You after we and then we did this picture which we took back in the day, if you see it.
Oh, that's a great photo. Oh my gosh, love those old GMC trucks.
Yeah, that's the album cover, and that was an old picture we had in our from like when we first started the band, first band and trailer, and we're just kind of just throwing it back to that. But it's just kind of happened like that. I would otherwise I'd be struggling over an album title.
Okay, so for in other situations that would be true, but you fortunately had a good system this time.
Yeah, sometimes it works out. You never know. I think if I had to plan this out, if I knew I was putting out an album, I'd go in panic mode. I don't have the songs. I don't have the album cover. I don't have it. Now it was like, let's do that. Use that picture. Call it For You. It's done.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Now you did mention Blanco again, who you of course collaborated with. You've collaborated with Bryce Vine. I know I've only got a few more minutes with you guys, so I just wanted to ask you, on your Instagram, you also will do these highlight reels from your shows, and you'll have songs from like Cardi B, Khalid, DJ Snake. Yeah. Outside of country music, because you're always pulling in from these other places. Outside of country music, who would you like to collaborate with next?
Bieber.
Yeah?
He's the guy, yeah.
Our good Canadian boy.
No, you're a good Canadian guy. Him and Bruno Mars, I think, as far as like, just I'm so blown away by their music and their singing ability and stuff. Rock and roll, I'd love to collaborate with Dave Grohl, Foo Fighters. I think that'd be an amazing, thing to do. But, we love it. We love so many different artists from all different genres, and we listen to that stuff on the bus, from country to rock to jazz, hip hop, everything. So there's a lot of when I go into writing stuff, I'm pulling from everybody, especially if I just heard something really cool. I'm always listening to different things.
Well, my fingers are crossed for we love you guys as Parmalee, just you guys, and we're so excited for your album to come out on July 30th. But I mean, some of those other collaborations would be pretty exciting.
I'll work on it, see what I can do.
Sounds good. Well, Matt, thank you so much for taking the time to chat today. Have fun waking up at 4 a.m. tomorrow. Ugh. And fingers crossed we'll see you up here in Canada sometime soon.
We'll be up there. We're coming. As soon as they let us up, we're going. All right.
Sounds good. Thanks, Matt.
Thank you.